Are you tired of the same old boring coffee you get from the drive-thru? Legacy Coffee offers some of the most bold flavors on the market that would wake the dead. Our customers rave about how flavorful our coffee is and how much energy it gives them. For more information, check out legacybrewing.shop. Legacy Coffee. What is your legacy?
And now, coming to you from the famed Studio M, located deep in the depths of an underground bunker and cleverly disguised as a laundry room in his parents' basement, you're listening to the PSNORKIS Podcast, the show where our panel of experts... Wait a minute. Experts? Really? Okay, whatever. The show where our panel of experts stands ready to discuss and give their opinions on anything and everything that's of interest to you. And as experts, we promise to try to get it right at least 50% of the time, which is still better than the mainstream media. So sit back, relax, close your eyes, unless of course you're driving. Yeah, go ahead, close them anyway, it's still better than Route 22 at rush hour, and enjoy the show. Now, to help guide you through the PSNORKIS, here are your hosts, the Madman and Dr. Myke.
Excuse me, I actually burped as I was saying wow on that one.
That actually worked.
Yeah, that did work.
We're having all the emotions here, audience. Yeah. Every single one.
Do you know who she reminds me of?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Who?
A character that was played by another actress. If you ever watched the original NCIS,
No,
never. There was a character named Ziva.
Yeah, Ziva.
And she reminds me of that character in the way that character was. And that woman was gorgeous, too.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. But she wasn't actually Jewish, although she played a Jewish person. She reminds me very much
type of woman.
of that character, which I always thought was a great character.
Jewish and Dangerous?
Anything out of
Mossad.
the Amazon collection.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazon
collection.
Past Mossad. Which is Israeli Special Forces. Yeah.
Well, don't they all have to go in the...
Actually,
I think they do.
They all have to go.
Yeah.
They don't always go through Special Forces training.
No, but they
all
have
go
have
through
to
the
be a part of
military.
the Israeli army.
And
I
you
think
know
that's
what?
brilliant.
I do too. I 100% agree.
I do believe that there is something to be said for that because everybody learns to at least have confidence in themselves. By the time they get out, they can at least believe in themselves and that they can just tackle the rest of life.
I have yet to meet a single Israeli man that did not have a confidence that was genuinely impressive.
Or an Israeli woman. I've met a few. Yeah,
I've not met too many women. women. I've met some of the men though, but they all have such a level of confidence
they
where
do.
it makes them outstanding.
Yes, they do.
They really are just like
think
fantastic.
I think
of
that's
that.
why they're one of our greatest allies is because they're
I
just
agree.
such good people. You know.
That has an air of sexiness. When,
Yeah.
when
When
they
somebody-
walk into the room and they own it,
confidence,
oh
they-
my
yes.
Lord.
Absolutely.
I do not like unconfident or spineless men, and Israeli are very familiar with their spines, and they have a lot of confidence. They walk into a room and they literally own the room. That's hot. So to all of all of our Israeli
That's easy.
listeners,
Yeah.
I'm single. Come find me.
Now she's single. And you better believe in Santa Claus.
You better
That's
like
all I'm
wearing a
saying.
Santa suit.
Yeah.
Wow. Happy Hanukkah.
How about a Hanukkah suit?
I'll light your lights.
I'll tell you what.
All 8 nights.
I'll tell you what. When we were down there, almost 2 weeks ago now in
Florida.
Florida, Universal.
Yeah.
I work so fast. Like I said, I think faster than I speak. It was during the beginning of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And I would see during it was kind of cool because I showed you the pictures of the Macy's Day Parade, which is sponsored by Macy's. It goes through the park every night. I saw quite a bit of Jewish people wearing their yarmulkes because it was the holy season. It was Hanukkah, and as I walk by them, I say, "Hey, Happy Hanukkah," and they look at me, realize that I didn't have one, and they're like, they were very appreciative that I, as a non-Jewish person,
A Gentile.
I can never remember that. Yeah, so I'm a gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I was going to say nobody's ever called me a gentleman, but very appreciative of the fact that somebody who's obviously not acknowledges that.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I have had a lot of Jewish friends in my life,
So have I, yeah.
so
Yeah, me
I
too.
actually know a little bit about Hanukkah and what they celebrate, and I find it fascinating actually. And I think if more people looked at some of the differences, they'd find out there aren't as many differences as you think. They just do it a different way, but they still yet believe in the same. I think everyone believes in the same God. He just has different names. He says, this group's going to call me this group's going to call me. I think it's the same guy.
I
Be honest
actually
with you.
don't, but I don't subscribe to any Abrahamic religions. I am very openly a Norse pagan in my life. I know you've seen some of my posts. I blocked them so you'd stop
I
calling
have.
mom.
Stop what? I was like, what is she doing?
Wow.
Yeah.
You see nothing. But
Oh my goodness.
it's a
Some of it
religion
was
that's
scary.
it's a religion that's very traditional for my people. It's actually a religion that was what's the way I want to say this? Documented earlier than Christianity. So for me, it makes sense. For me, it's very traditional. For me, it's also very woman friendly. I have a hard time relating to the Abrahamic religions because I don't particularly feel they're female friendly, except for ironically Muslims. If you've ever actually read the Quran,
Which I haven't.
I haven't read all of it. I've read sections of it because I find it very interesting. It's a lot more pro-female than I think actually Christianity is. Just on the surface.
Boy,
Again,
they sure don't show it, do they?
It depends on the type of Muslim. Now, in every religion, even Christianity, you have extremists. And those
Yes.
extremists,
Oh, no, absolutely.
Those extremists
They're the ones that make
cannot
a
be-
bad name for
Oh,
everybody.
exactly. Yeah, I've met some Christians where
The extremists
they're
of any
nuts.
religion, I now that's my idea of a proper TV show of Survivor. You get all the extremists that nobody has any use
I'm gonna
for
pray
anyway.
to the person I believe in and hope they feed me. Good luck.
Put them all on an island and just let them finish each other off.
I mean, I've met
And the rest of
Christians
us are going to
where
get along just fine.
yeah, I've met Christians where they're so like rabid
We can
and
send
insane.
them to Epstein's Island.
Perfect. But I've also met Christians like you who are a fantastic example of the teachings of Christ. In all honesty, you really genuinely are because you don't live in a way that's so
The actions meet the words.
correct. It's not hypocritical, which is a problem I have with everybody across the board. I don't like hypocrisy at all. But I've met people, who are Muslim of Muslim faith who are genuinely just such fantastic people. And
Oh
it's-
yeah, I've
it's-
met, yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Absolutely.
And I mean, if you actually look at the teachings that are promoted in the Quran, women are revered practically. Like the woman is supposed to work, the man is supposed to work, the woman keeps her own money. It's actually very.
I never read that part.
It's genuinely it's one of the teachings.
No, I
Holy
didn't,
crap!
honestly.
My wife's Muslim. She works and she keeps her own money.
Yeah, see?
Go,
You
Petey.
didn't even know.
I'm just.
If you look at it
I
back
meant that
to-
only as a joke, folks. I was not. I'm just okay.
If you take it back to Rumi, 14th century Persian poet.
Oh, I love reading his books.
Yeah, he's Muslim. I really enjoy that a teacher will go beyond their own religion and explore and talk to other fellow teachers.
Absolutely.
That brings so much more to the table.
I agree. I couldn't agree more with that. That's why I try to learn more about the other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, then you got the people that take it too far.
Oh, yeah.
And like, well, this is it, and there's nothing else. I'm like,
I grew up in a very small town where we actually had a Christian church that was closer to our school than the library. So for a very long time, I had a very negative view of Christianity because I saw firsthand the hypocrisy that was in action. And it wasn't until I got older.
most of that, let's face it, though, honestly, and again, I'm going to take some heat for this, but
there's plenty of Christians out there who don't have a problem watching lesbian porn, but who will actively vote against members of the LGBTQ community.
no, I was just
from
going to say
voting.
that what you were talking about was basically the Catholic Church.
Oh, yeah, no. I was devoutly Catholic actually for years before I met you all.
And
I went to Catholic school as a girl.
that's almost like a cult. I'm sorry. It is.
No, it's very nuts.
And
but-
yet they have a lot of traditions that I think they should go back to the Latin masses. I think that's cool. I like a lot of the different things that they do, but
on occasion, I will still attend Christmas Mass just because it's beautiful.
oh yeah.
It's genuinely, and also I do
Absolutely.
appreciate the stained glass. I love good architecture, and Catholic churches.
We should go,
do have a lot
go
of
this
that.
year.
I'd love to go with you
hang
if
on,
you're
wait a
open to
minute.
that.
Wait a minute, hang on. That is Friday the 24th. Crap, I go on call at 4 o'clock that night. But most, I think, of the airlines will be done by like 8 o'clock, I think, for that night. I'll double check that. Because as long as I don't have to worry about going to church and then getting called in,
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, worst case scenario, I'll
other
meet you
than that-
guys there, and then I can drive Petey back while you drive to
But
work.
I would, yeah. But I would,
That
yeah,
wouldn't be a
yeah.
problem.
But for what I wear at church and what I wear at work, definitely two different things.
Pack a bag.
Trust me.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could
Like,
pack
just
a
in
bag.
case, you
I
know
would.
what I mean?
I'd love to do that because I know ever since she's moved out here, and with everything and the way things happen, she hasn't really found a good
Their home
place out
church.
here for it. And
There
and
is a
I
Polish
love-
Catholic church in Allentown, I think.
Oh, but Allentown.
Yeah, not a,
No,
not-
it's a nice section of Allentown.
I'll bring the bug
Nighttime.
spray.
There's such a thing.
There's better sections.
Okay,
I wouldn't say nice section.
but right. Neither would I.
Well,
That's my point.
Yeah.
But I would, yeah, I would. I love Christmas Eve
I genuinely
services.
do too.
And
I
I've
love
been,
those,
I've been
and I love
to
Easter.
Baptist ones. I've been to Presbyterian ones, which is mine. It's Scottish. I've been to Lutheran.
Yeah.
I've been to Catholic. I just like Christmas Eve services, man. I mean,
There's something
it doesn't
very
matter.
just like first it's a callback to my childhood. It's a callback to my early 20s where I was very devoutly Catholic and I attended church very regularly. And in fact, the robot did too as well growing up because that was very important to me. But there's something so beautiful and soothing and almost effervescent about it that I just
Yes.
find like it's very moving to me personally.
You know, my Petey is Catholic, and she was raised Catholic. Even though I'm not, I like the Catholic grace said before meals. I like that particular grace. We had our own, but I actually like the Catholic grace better. You know, they're
Well, they
yeah.
had a long
they're-
time of perfecting it. You know, all the
Yeah,
catechism
well.
changed.
What do you mean?
All the the sayings and stuff that like the priest would say, may peace be with you, and you would respond in with you as well.
with you as well, or also with you.
Yeah.
Also.
And now that all the catechism changed, so I'm going to go in there and I'm going to have no idea what to say because for
I
years-
know they changed things to make it more and more politically correct. I'm like,
This isn't
No,
the problem
it's
we
n-
needed fixed with the church, guys.
thank you.
This is
exactly.
not
This
the
didn't
thing
need
you
to be
needed to
fixed.
focus on. We need to focus
Exactly.
on other things involving
Exactly.
several
Yep.
minor children.
Well, okay. Well, all right. We're not. And I agree with that. And that's another topic for
Yes.
another time because I'll go
Yes.
off on that too, and some of the other things about the
Yes.
Catholic Church. But that's not what our discussion now is more of what we all have in common than what we have alike. When you read the Bible, you know, at one point, everybody around the world, the the world at that point was basically mostly over there, European, everybody was kind of united, and they started to try to build a tower, the Tower of Babel, to get, and according to try to get up to, be able to get up to heaven. And according to the Bible, the story is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, because you're the one, God saw this, decided they were getting a little too close, decided to separate the people, confuse their language, I believe was the exact, so that they couldn't all work together as one. So that's why I personally believe God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, they're all the same guy.
You know what? There's a mass.
They're all the same guy.
Not to go on a huge tangent, but there is a belief out there that because a lot of the Muslim stories and the Christian stories have
a lot of
similarities.
Mm-hmm.
So
The Pendulum Society is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization, achieving the impossible by orchestrating a cultivation of business relationships to take out the stigma of homelessness, both human and animal. We forward the traditions of preservation of nature, wildlife conservation, open space, and history. Music and cultural foods bring together all peoples for a stable foundation at our two main gala events, Alpha Centauri and Fools Gone Wild. The tick-tock of time illuminates and elucidates our clients, the fruition of stable permanence. What does your time say about you?
Not to go off on this because I can spend hours.
We're going to do one. I really, especially maybe next week because it's still before Christmas, which is a holy day.
Can we invite? Who is the gentleman?
Eric?
Yeah, Pastor Eric.
Dude, that would be.
I think that'd be a fantastic discussion, and
Talk
I would
to
really
him this
value.
week. I'd like to get.
I really
Eric
value
in
having
here.
him on the panel for this discussion. I think he could bring a lot of insight.
Yeah, he can.
But we can absolutely rehash this when he's here. But please go ahead.
No, there's a lot. There's a line of thinking. I mean, when you talk about Allah and God, and I'm very impressed actually that you said Yahweh. That you knew that term. I'm actually impressed.
I myself prefer that as the name.
Yeah.
There's something about that name. Now,
when my son was born, that's the first thing I whispered in his ear when I held him. I said, Yahweh is God. That's the first thing.
Really?
Thing
dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Look at me. I got ears now. Oh, pardon my language.
But there's a lot of similarities on it. I mean, it differs where you get to Muhammad and Jesus Christ. But
Muhammad is a prophet.
But Jesus could technically be considered a prophet too, even though he was a son of God.
Right. But anyway, let's let him finish.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doc.
We both did that, and we apologize.
No, you're fine. When I get into because I'm going to put my story out here very shortly, and I will touch on all of that.
By the way, folks listening, that's where his doctorate lies, is in theology. This is what he studied.
Yeah.
He's a legitimate doctor.
He is a legitimate doctor. He's a PhD in with theology, and he was studying law too. But his main thing was the theology. So this is something he actually studied. This is why we like it when he speaks about this, because he knows what he's speaking about. Idiots like me, it's just theorizing.
Not age, no. But just to briefly touch like a hint onto my story is you're gonna find. Like on my research, I can go to the library right now and research how to build a bomb. And there's nothing illegal about it. And there's no hindrance or anything about what I can find to destroy somebody.
Let me save your trip. I'm going to go over here to my drawer. Hang on just a minute.
Okay. Just keep your hands out of your drawers.
Not those drawers. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But what started...
It's just me. I can't help myself.
What started me going is how come I can do that? However, I can't read the Bible in certain countries. And what's in here that's so damaging that people in other countries are getting put to jail, put to death and put in jail for not even just having the full copy, just having a section of it. What's in here that is so
damaging to the government
that I can't
Yes.
get that, or I get punished for that. And that
But you
started-
can go and look up how to build a
Right.
bomb or
So
how to. Yes.
that started my journey, and I'm going to get
Yep.
into everything that I went through
Yep.
and everything that. But that's another topic for another day because
Yep.
it's a long story. But
Yep. Just
to
like
touch-
guns that fire themselves.
That's another one that we're
Yep.
going to get into. But when we get into that, it'll be, I think, very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, you'll get an insight into why I am the way I am.
I need you to seriously talk to Pastor Eric
I
about
wanna
next
get
week.
him
That would
here
be
as well. Yeah.
freaking-tastic.
Yeah.
I actually think we should do something similar to that. This part should be cut out. It's not valuable to the podcast itself, but just as an idea for our group, I think we should all do like little, not formal intros, but I think
I
we should do
absolutely
something.
100% think we should all
I
do
think
that.
we should do
Tell our
because
stories.
Tell your
it'll
story.
help people,
Yeah.
not formally. I don't want to do a formal. Hi, my name is
No, but
Rebel.
just talk
I
about-
bite and I might have rabies.
See, mine's
But, you
going to
know-
be the,
But I
Oh
think
my
I think
God.
that for us to continue to grow our viewership, we need to have a connection. We need
sure,
to be real.
absolutely. I think
Hi,
you
my
are.
name is Madman, and I might have a cold.
This is Madman.
What did you
Sometimes
think I
he
was
likes
going to
things
say?
in his
What
gut.
did you think I was going to say? Oh, okay, all
That's
right.
not a cold that you have.
Something in his drawers. All right, yeah, but that we're gonna need to, in case you're listening to this later, Doctor.
Yeah.
Cut this all out immediately
I
out.
might keep it. It's fun.
Feel free to cut everything out that I said too.
No, but I absolutely think that that's important, and that'll help our audience connect.
I agree because
on
here's the thing:
100
is like
different levels.
there's going to be people who connect with this podcast because of who you are. There's going to be people who connect because of who you are. There's going to be people connect because of who are you. There's going to be people who connect because they want to see
Absolutely.
what horrible thing I do next.
Yeah. And to who?
That's why we keep coming back.
Yeah.
Where we keep inviting you over.
Yeah.
What horrible thing has she done? How many civilians did it kill? Many. There were no survivors.
And then you complain about the cost of bail money.
You
for
look
me.
in the back. You look in the back
didn't complain, I
of
just
her
said, like,
house,
please don't
in
do
her
it
backyard,
there.
and you see all those mounds of dirt. You see, she must be a
Because
hell of
if
a
you
gardener.
got-
And I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
look at them and go,
Yep.
yeah, she is.
Grow a lot of tomatoes.
Yeah, she is.
This sure is fertile back here.
Fertile Myrtle. I have 2 different size shovels and a pickaxe. We're good.
Good things.
I have a shovel out in the. This truly is a slightly morbid truth, because I joke about this with people. I said, "Hey, I got a shovel that's done nothing but bury people or bury things," and I did. When my mom's dog passed away, when I was at the other house, I had to buy this a proper because all I had were like the shovels for like doing gardening. I had to buy a
trowels.
proper I had to buy a proper spade for breaking the ground and doing, and I didn't use it again until my cat died a couple years ago here. So literally, the only time that shovel comes out
The
is to
death
bury
shovel.
something.
Yeah,
Yes, and I
shovel
joke.
of death.
I joke about that. I said I got the perfect shovel, and that's what I
It's
mean
the
by
already
it.
initiated death shovel.
Anyway, go ahead. I know that's neither here nor there, but
Yeah.
that's
No, I
me.
think that's an interesting tidbit. We should definitely include that in your intro.
Death shovel. We should sell those on.
This is the Madman. He has shovels just for burying bodies. In case you thought Rebel was the only terrible person, you're wrong. We're all bad in different ways. Doc Father's going to pray over you. That may or may not
Doc
cause a
Father.
seizure.
Hey,
Yeah.
he's the Doc Father.
He's the Doc
He is
He's
Father.
the Doc Father. He's
Welcome
over
to
there.
the Doc Father.
He's like, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. I
Got
want to-
Madman who's going to bury you alive. Me who's going to unhinge my jaw like an anaconda and eat you
Eat you.
alive.
Yeah.
Which saves me the trouble of burying, really. I mean, let's face it.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle, man. I'm all about that
I like
environmental
it.
friendly stuff.
I like it.
And I'll just
gonna-
throw the party.
Yep.
I'm gonna reach out to Legacy and tell them to put Death Shovel on the website. Let's see how many people
That
actually
might be
need it.
kinda cool,
That's a good
actually, yeah.
Death
I think
Shovel.
that's cute.
Death
Yeah.
shovel.
Death shovel.
Mad
I think
Man
we all
Death
need to
Shovel.
have like totems.
That'd be the great name for
totem.
That'd be a great
shovel.
name for a band, wouldn't it? The Death Shovel. Instead of five-finger death punch, you're a bunch of. Let's go,
Ooh.
Death Shovel.
Actually, you know what? I think actually we need that as a sound, and then we also need rocket
Oh,
as
we
a sound.
definitely- You're gonna have to record that. We're gonna do
I
that. Yeah.
will. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
That is hilarious. We're gonna.
rocket.
Yeah.
Hot
And you're
rocket.
gonna. Yeah.
Get me laughing.
Yeah. You need that at the point of your finger. You need that.
Yeah, that's going to be a hotkey. Rocket.
It's gonna be a hot key.
Ooh, very hot key. Hey, winky wink, finger guns.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh man.
Well, here
Yeah,
we
but
are.
I think that's actually a great idea, though.
I'll reach out.
Reach out to him, and that would be. Oh my God, that'd be a great show.
That would be a good show. Every time he was on, he's a
That
great
was
person. Man.
he is.
He's awesome.
He's really nice.
Now, do you attend his church, Doctor?
I do not.
You don't?
No,
Okay.
I have. I did actually when he.
It feels so
first
weird addressing
began-
you as Doctor formally, even though it's technically correct.
That's why I just call him Doc.
Yeah.
Doc. Okay. No, I like Doctor because it sounds very formal.
When I got my PhD, I was like, "Hey, Dad," he was texting me when I was all done, and I was like, I texted him and I said, "Make sure you go online and check out UpDoc." And he wrote back and he's like, "What's
up, Doc?"
And I said, "Nothing. What's up with you?"
and then he drove over to
And
your
he
house
was
and
like-
smacked you.
And he said, "Hey yo, dad jokes."
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm going to buy land in Scotland, and then I'm going to insist
have.
on everyone calling me Lady Rebel.
I
that's
have.
a great idea.
I think fits. Yeah.
Lady Rebel.
Yeah, Petey bought me some last year for Christmas.
So you're
So
Lord.
you're
yeah, I'm Lord.
Lord
I'm Lord
Madman.
Madman.
Lord
Yeah,
Madman.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
we just every time we do it, we forget. She wants to get the nice paper and put it in the printer
yeah,
and print it
yeah.
out, and it'll
Yeah.
be behind the bar over there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
Lord
Lord
Madman.
Madman.
Yeah,
Once I do that, I'm going to have Celine Dion's "Cause I'm Your Lady" intro it, and then I'm going to follow it up with something filthy
and
as a noise.
that's nice, except for the fact that that's not her song.
I know it's not her song.
Whose is it?
I don't know who it is, but I know that she
I got
actually...
2 words for you. Air Supply.
Oh yeah, definitely Air Supply.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did not know
Air
that.
Supply is awesome.
She sings a
1985.
lot of songs that weren't necessarily originally hers, but the way in
She
which she
sang
does
them
them,
awesome. She did good.
she is a phenomenal.
I'll
Well,
play
she
it
used
for
to
you.
be.
I've got
Yeah.
it.
She used to be phenomenal. Now, if you hear her at her show in Vegas, she's very, very nasally. It's very disappointing, but it's what happens
Oh,
generally.
she turned into Adele.
No, I like Adele.
I like Adele
Oh,
also.
she sucks.
You don't like
No,
Adele?
I like Adele.
Really?
I like everything about
Every 3
Adele.
years, she's got to go get throat surgery to get the notes taken off because she doesn't sing properly.
I don't care if she doesn't
She
sing
just had a
properly. I care if
special
it
on.
sounds good.
She just had a special on and she was singing outside.
One Night with Adele.
I thought it was
I
pretty
do
good.
like a lot of some of the things she don't. Please don't get me wrong, but I think and I consider vocalists musicians.
Yeah,
I'm one
that's a musical instrument.
and
I will die on
I
that
am
hill.
a musician because I've been a percussionist since 1978.
I've been a rap artist since 2010.
Oh, word.
You guys have heard me rap.
Me too. That's why I love Christmas because I got the Scotch tape and everything, and I just
rap. Yeah.
I actually like to wrap presents because of my OCD and ADD.
I actually like that too.
Right?
Like there's
Yeah.
an art to
Yeah,
wrapping
I did.
presents.
Yes.
Yes. And doing the bows too from the ribbon. If you haven't done it, you need to like
Zip.
get into
Yeah,
it. It's so
I
like
have
it's
3
satisfying.
totes of
Yeah,
ribbon.
yeah. Oh.
I know you have too many totes of ribbon.
I know.
But it's so satisfying.
There are a lot of people that say, "Well, singing is different from being a musician."
No, it is not. It
it's
takes a lot of
really
practice.
not.
It takes a lot of perfection. It
yeah,
takes a lot
the
of time.
voice is an instrument.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So I consider that a musical instrument, but yeah, she's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Adele. Yeah, she's all right.
I like her.
There are others I like better.
All right, who do you like?
Who do I like?
Yeah. And you know what? I want that same question posed to our audience. Who is your favorite musical artist? Write in and let us know.
Yeah, for sure.
I have several because of their styles.
Okay.
Elton John.
Oh, phenomenal.
Not a fan.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a fan.
Wow.
Just
Okay.
never got into him.
Oh, then you wouldn't like the movie that
I
came out,
watched it.
Rocket
We
Man,
talked
which was
about it.
actually very good.
I have a funny story about the phrase Rocket Man, but we'll get back to
Yeah,
that.
I
It's
bet
not
you do.
phallic.
Obviously.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
weird.
It's now
phallic.
Rocket
It's
Man.
not rocket. It's not.
Rocket Man burning them up. No, so
Burning up
anyway.
with the
I'm gonna be
herpes.
bleeping for all night.
No,
Not for me.
I'm always the worst one.
Neil Diamond.
I'm a big fan.
Neil Diamond is
Yeah, big
phenomenal.
fan.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Neil Diamond's good.
Big fan of his voice, his
Yeah.
style, everything. He can make you smile. He can make you cry.
Yeah.
He's just. Females. Annie Lennox.
What a unique voice she has.
What's she saying?
Sweet dreams.
Sweet
Oh, yeah, yeah,
dreams
yeah.
are made
The
of
Eurythmics.
these.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Who
she's
am
done
I
other stuff
to
besides that.
disagree?
I
I
just came across lately, like I mean this week, because
Mm-hmm.
you guys know me, PD works a different shift than me. I get home from work, and I was on call this week. So basically, I get home, feed the dogs, feed myself. I crawl into bed.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't start a project because I'll never get back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll work again until 4 o'clock in the morning. And
yeah.
oh, crap, I got to get up and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go to bed, but I don't go to sleep. Grab the iPad, sit there. I found an Annie Lennox version of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen that I'm like, that's great and that's new. That's awesome. I look at
Wow.
like 2010, so it's like been out for several years and I just came across it. Power. If you like Annie Lennox, check it out. Powerful. Oh my God.
I loved her rendition of "I Put a Spell on You."
Oh,
That
I've heard
was
that.
amazing. Truly
I've
amazing.
heard that.
Honestly, that was phenomenal.
I've heard
the
that.
first time I heard that, all right, so I'm very, very connected with music, and there's times where I'll pull over the first time I hear a song because it's affecting me, and I want to actually be in that moment. Like I don't want to. I'm not going to be a distracted driver. Especially not with the new car. It would have been fine with the Corolla because I already paid that off. So Mario
I thought
Kart.
that was a new one when I went out there earlier.
Yeah, that's new.
Oh, that's nice. I like
sorry,
that. Yeah.
But I like to pull over, and I really like to actually let the music sort of wash over me and impact me however it move me however it moves
And that's what
me.
music does to me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been into music since I was 9 years old, I think is what it was.
Yeah, so the first time I heard that, I actually pulled over, and it was one of those things where I have a Spotify subscription, and I just hit random on some sort of playlist, and I actually restarted the song because I needed to experience it from the start all the way to the finish, and just take that in, and it was amazing, truly. Like the way she sings, honestly, it just genuinely sends chills through my spine.
Oh yeah.
It really does.
Very powerful.
It is. She
very,
has such
very
a unique,
powerful.
well-known voice. You hear it and you know it's Annie Lennox.
If you love listening to our show, consider joining one of our membership plans on our Patreon page. Memberships starting as low as $2.99 a month will greatly help to support the production of this show and will help us to continue making it better. To show our thanks and appreciation, we've made our shows ad-free to all memberships. Head on over to patreon.com/PSNORKIS and check out all of our available plans. Link in the description.
Yep. So she's one. Oh God, I'm gonna pick a Don Henley from the Eagles.
Yeah.
Like today, we were out doing our grocery shopping, and over the thing. God, what the heck's the name of the actual song?
Florida.
Can't remember. No. But I heard, "This is the last worthless evening that you'll have to spend." And it's just like, his voice is just so.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so powerful. It just hits you.
Now all of them, when they stopped working as the Eagles, all of them did their own thing and were all fantastic. But there's something about the timbre of his voice that just it's like I immediately sit up and stop and take notice. He's one. I can go off to so many of them. I mean, someday we'll make a list. But
yeah. Dogfather, what's some of your favorite artists? Now I'm curious for our panel. Some of our favorite artists.
He's got a 5-year-old, so Barney is one of them.
Yeah, not Barney. Never got into Barney. Not the Wiggles. Not the Wiggles. I like all sorts of music, not country at all.
Nuts! Now see that.
You know what? I don't really like much in the way of country, but I do like Rascal Flatts, and I love Sugarland. The lead singer of Sugarland has an amazing voice. Yeah. Like she truly has
there are a couple that really do.
Oh,
yeah. I like
Shania Twain.
I like some,
when she says "Let's go, girls," I could launch a war.
Shania Twain back in the 90s. Yeah.
She's gorgeous now.
Oh, she's still gorgeous,
my
but
God,
I don't think vocally she's as good now as she was then.
Well, she's always been better than me. So
that's not true. I've heard you sing.
Oh, well, thank you.
But my personal opinion. I mean, I love Shania Twain. Don't get me wrong, but I think that it's time for her to hang it up.
Yeah. You know what, though? I'm hesitant to really judge artists by the music that they produce, because sometimes the songs, even though they might not be vocally technically difficult or anything like that, there's good memories attached to them.
Yeah, well, that's my thing with almost every song in the 80s, because that's when I was growing up. And as soon as I hear a song, I go
I can't hear.
I remember hearing this song,
for sure.
and I remember what was going on in my life when I heard this song for the first time.
Every time I hear anything from like The Breakfast Club, any of those songs, those 80s songs, I remember us dancing together at the like I have that's such an instant and
Down
it's
by
such
the river.
a great
Down by the
memory.
river.
It's such a great memory for me. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'll put that on and it brings me back to that moment.
Well,
And
remember
that's
the
real
times we had
power
the
of
80s
music.
nights where I just come in DJ and play nothing but 80s, and everybody just loved that.
And anytime I hear
night.
Chevelle, I think of that one manager who was at the Jimmy with the long hair. Was it?
Yeah, he wasn't a manager. He was just a piece of garbage.
Well,
He actually,
or as
stole
we
it,
like to say, an employee.
yeah. Well, he was an employee apparently above my pay grade, but he
wasn't
really
an
liked
employee,
Chevelle.
He was director.
Yeah, he wasn't
Oh, really?
an employee.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so
Well,
he was crap. You're right. I'm
It
sorry.
was really funny because I remember him asking me like, "Oh, could you sing Chevelle?" And at the time, actually, I really could sing Chevelle quite well, and he didn't give me a chance to. And I was like, "Listen, you're missing out. If I can hit Evanescence notes,
Oh, yeah,
I can
and you
do.
can't,
And I really can. You know, you give me enough alcohol, I can I loosen up, and I'm very easy to like. It's very easy for me to sing. If I'm very sober, though, I overthink it.
I stuck to the Elton John, to the Billy Joel, because it's all in my range, and my range is a little bit broader than a lot of people. Well, it was.
Yeah.
It's not now. I was singing something the other day that I used to actually sing that people used to ask me to sing.
Suit Riot.
Okay.
Riot,
no,
throw back a bottle of beer.
That one I could do. No, actually, it was U2.
Oh.
It was With or Without You, and it
love
came
that
on the
song.
radio.
Yeah.
I started singing it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't hit this anymore.
Nah,
I'm
you're
like,
just out of practice.
That's all
That's
it
it.
is. Your voice is a muscle. If you don't work it, you need to build it back up. But
Gotta work it.
But I had a range like
I wish
Neil
you could all
Diamond.
see that.
Most people's range is
Probably
like
better
this.
they
Neil
couldn't.
Diamond is from here and up to here.
Yeah.
And I could do that. But yeah, I'd have to work to
Honestly,
get
I
back
don't
there.
brag about my voice very often, but I love the fact that I can hit lower notes for the female vocal range as well as certain higher notes, because that's kind of having that little bit of range right there. Not a lot of range. You know, I'm never going to be famous for my singing unless the world goes very, very bad.
I want to.
Well, Biden is president, so
We're
you
2
might
minutes
get
away
your,
from mediocrity.
Yeah, you might get that wish.
Plants crave electrolytes.
I want to break this up and issue.
That's what plants crave.
I want to issue a missing persons alert to BJ from the Lube.
BJ from the Lube.
Your friend and mine.
Wow, I forgot about
BJ from the Lube.
So if you're
We're gonna
out
make
there,
that a sound bit.
if you're out there, I don't know where you are. So contact us immediately.
Maybe look at.
But seriously, we weren't actually looking either. So
I've
No,
been
if we
looking.
were, we would go to more truck stops.
Yeah, I've been looking for him.
we had a lot
boy.
of fun. We had a lot of fun with that.
We
stuff.
had
Yeah.
a lot of detail in that last statement from the dog father.
Yeah.
He's been looking for him.
Father.
I've been
Yeah,
looking
like
for him.
that.
BJ from the Loop.
BJ from the Loop. He's missing. He's missing. And he
From
should
your
be-
life or from
he
the
should
lives
be
of
sitting
others?
Right here and interacting. BJ from the Lube.
That's too bad.
What's
That
it called?
was a fun gig too. You know,
DJ from the Loop?
because of working over there. Quaker
Oh, yeah,
Steak,
it was fun.
steak,
that was
you know,
fun.
was
Yeah. Oh, anywhere you guys were at, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was always fun.
I loved
We
the
made-
in our heyday.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it was one of those things where it was the first time, and I'm so grateful for that experience because it really taught me a lot about what I wanted in my future
First
career.
time I got fired twice.
That's
right,
the
not
first
that.
time
Not
someone
that so
got
much.
me fired twice at the same
It
time.
was the first time I ever actually woke up and had a job that I genuinely
Wanted to go
looked
to
forward
and
to.
had fun.
I would show up early and be like, "Let's
I
freaking
did.
go!"
I would too. I'd come.
know?
I'd
Everyone
come
came
over,
early.
set up,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
have something to eat. You know, I'd
Yeah.
come way earlier than I had to
It
because
really-
it was a good
that
atmosphere. It was
experience-
everything. Yeah.
That experience so positively influenced my future working career because for the first time I felt
You're
like I
welcome.
had no
You're
thank you
welcome.
genuinely because the first time I felt like I could be listened to when I suggested things
Yeah.
and that I wasn't automatically told because of where I was at or my position in the company that an idea was bad even though it was good. And all the future jobs that I looked for really played off that experience. I wanted somebody who would listen to me. I wanted somebody who would hear my ideas, at least hear them out. If they're not great, fine. I come up with a lot of crap ideas, That's totally fine. But at least listen. And I wanted a job, a career, a place where I would look forward to being.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that was possible. I honestly thought, like,
It was
here's
fun.
a job.
That was 10 years ago now, believe it or
Really?
not, when we
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
I spent
Yeah.
hundreds of dollars on stickies.
That was a great prank. It wasn't really a prank so much, but it was kind of a
That was
prank.
pretty
I
good.
guess.
Doc was away and
Yeah.
left me in charge, so I redecorated his office
Yeah.
in
Fair.
giant green stickies.
I only got to enjoy it for a little before I got locked out of the building.
Stupid.
And we had to send Rebel in there to.
You know what it was?
Well, she was a covert operation.
Let's face
She
it.
ran in there. Got all
Let's
that-
face it. It was, and I'm going to go back to something we were talking about earlier. All right, and I don't mean to be at all blasphemous or anything about this,
Oh, be blasphemous.
but
I love it.
it was like the same thing. We were all together and we were all doing this, and all the higher up said, "Oh no, they're getting
Yep.
too powerful. We need to split them all apart."
Yep.
And,
Yeah. Well, we were doing it right.
right.
That's the thing.
I will never
Exactly.
forgive Jorts. Like, he had such bad answers.
Shorts.
He called me and he's like, we wanted to make sure you were still coming in for your shift. My first question.
Why
Are
wouldn't
you-
I?
No. My first question, I already knew what was going on because
Yeah.
we had a separate, but I wanted to play dumb because he wouldn't have known any better.
Yeah.
He had one brain cell that occasionally touched the other side of his head. So my first question to him was, am I going to get paid? He's like, well, we don't know. I don't work for free, you ugly man.
Yeah. Only I did that there. That was part of my.
No, so then I figured, you know what? Now's a great opportunity. I'm going to come in. I'm going to grab all our stuff because I know they're not going to surrender it. And then
good.
we went to Kitty's house
Yeah.
and we had a lot to drink. And it was a wonderful evening.
Yes, it was.
And all of our stuff was there.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. I'm really happy I
Yeah,
was
they
able
thought they
to
were
do that
going to
because
lock
we would
up
have
all
never seen
my
that.
stuff because I had my speakers and stuff
Yeah.
in there because I was there every week. I left a certain amount of stuff there. I'm like, yeah, you don't understand. I will drive my truck up, hook it up to the doors, yank them off the hinges, and go in and get my stuff. You were not keeping my
Yeah.
stuff.
And you know what, though? The best part of that era closing for me was no longer having to hear Tiny Hands mimic the Three Stooges noises. If I had to watch that small man who was about half my height make eye contact with me while making the Three Stooges noises and expect me to be thrilled about it for the grand tip of $1, I would have lost my absolute mind.
For our listening audience that doesn't know, we all ran a club back in the
We
day.
did. We actually ran it very,
You
very
ran it.
well.
You were the
ran
you were the manager.
Yes.
You ran it. We were
and
the
it was
entertainment.
fantastic.
You
We
were-
made a
yeah,
ton of money.
Kitty and I did the hosted the karaoke
Yep.
and the D and I did the DJing, and you bartended. Yes,
I did bartend. I still bartend now.
Yeah.
I like kick you out of your own bar to bartend.
Well, that's just it. You know, I down here in the basement. You know, I have a nice bar, and as soon as they get here, I'm like, okay, here's what I want because I mean I've bartended and I enjoy it, and it's my bar in my house. But it's like, yeah, do me a favor, make me one of these because she's a better bartender than I am, and I fully admit that.
I actually like it because I
Because
find
you
it
worked at a real
sometimes-
bar.
Yeah.
When I worked as a bartender, it was at an American Legion. I basically
at an
was
American
pulling
Legion, too.
freaking beers
Yeah.
and a Jack and Coke here or something like that. You know,
Pulling
real
and
simple
jacking.
I actually
That's what he
Oh,
was doing.
jeez. Wow, that did
Pulling and jacking. Go American Legion.
he did it
Well,
for
and-
America.
And in that particular one, a
Welcome
lot of
home,
that
boys.
went on,
Here's
but
the
that's
Madman.
besides the point.
The many lives of
I actually
Lord
like
Madman.
it though, as someone who runs a little bit more introvert. Like I'm extroverted with you guys because I genuinely like you guys, and you guys aren't tiring. For me
Other
to
than
be
that,
around.
you're introverted.
I'm very-
Petey's the same way.
I'm very,
Petey
very
is.
introverted. I
My
find
wife
it-
absolutely does not like people
Yeah.
except for you guys.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to be around people.
Yeah.
And being behind the bar, it's always been hard for me. And honestly, I've had a couple people suggest that I might be slightly autistic, and they genuinely might be right because I sometimes don't understand or I'll miss social cues.
Yeah.
But being behind a bar, I
I'd
understand
be more
how that
Asperger's like my son.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
That might be it. I mean, now I think I don't think they separate it out to Asperger's or they just have it as a spectrum.
Actually, right now, they still will use the term Asperger's.
Now they'll
But
say,
it is still part of the
That's what they'll
spectrum.
say.
yeah.
You're
So I've
on
had
the
a lot of
spectrum.
people. I've
That's what
honestly
they'll
had a lot of people
It's
ask me.
so much easier back when I was growing up. Said, hey, look at the retard.
Can't say that anymore.
Yeah, no.
And yet I do.
Yeah,
Go
that's
figure.
what they would call.
Yeah, I know.
Short
I-
butts.
Retard just means slow.
Yeah.
Look, I am a classically trained, know how to read it musician. There is a little RIT on us that means retardo, which means to slow down.
Yep.
Okay? I am an aircraft mechanic. Do you know what we do when we're working with engines and we need to slow them down? We retard the throttles. Okay? Suck it up. Those are actual terms.
Lots of
There's
things to
nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
All right?
So many
Take
bleeps.
your politically correctness and shove it up your retarded.
Wow.
So, but as somebody who sometimes struggles with social cues, what I like best about bartending is I know how that interaction is supposed to go. I know the rules of engagement. It's very clearly defined, in all honesty, and it's easier for me
Because it
to
is like
operate.
battle sometimes.
It really is.
Rules of engagement.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's genuinely, it makes
Thank you very
sense
much.
to me, and the rules of engagement are very clear, and I find myself very socially successful in those sorts of situations. I like socializing, but the big problem I have with socializing is I again, I don't understand, or I miss social cues sometimes.
I do that too sometimes.
So it is what it is, but that's one of the things I always like best about bartending.
I miss social cues when it comes to somebody trying to flirt with me, and I've done this all my life.
Me too. I just assuming they're being nice.
And
then
yeah,
they're like, oh,
right,
I like
yeah,
you. And
I
I'm
think
like,
it's
get better
just
soon.
Right, yeah, and so many times, and then I find out from a friend of that person that's like, they were trying to basically
Throw
get you.
themselves at you.
Yeah, pretty much throw themselves, or at least get you to go out. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, you didn't know it? I'm like, no, I really didn't. I was too busy just trying to be a gentleman and a nice guy, and I miss that, and even Petey has seen that with me. So, that girl was flirting with you. I'm like, no, she wasn't. Yeah, she was. I'm like, oh, I didn't know.
No, I honestly, I'm the
I'm
same way
nuts.
too. Like, and it's also difficult too, because the way
I'm a little slow. I guess you could call me a retard.
the way that men are nice to women and the way that men flirt with women.
Doc's over there. All right. What's the time? Okay.
I'm going to be up all night.
I gotta bleep this out. I gotta
Yep, all night
bleep this
long.
out. I gotta bleep. Look, I grew up before there was the term politically correct
I
even
know.
existed.
I
So
grew up-
I don't
same
give
thing.
it any credence
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
All right. Someone says, "Well, I say something like retards." Like that's not very politically correct. I'm like,
Good.
do I look like a politician?
Yeah.
No, and I'm not running for politics. Oh, I guess I don't need to care about that,
Yep.
do I? You retard.
Wow.
With guys, like the ways in which
Or if
guys
I,
are nice
or
to
if I
women.
really don't like them, and because I'm, old, fat, and lazy, I like contractions. I say, "Shut up, retard."
There you go. I've always spelled that as one word without the contraction.
No, you have to put the little right in there.
No, I don't know. Like usually when I'm saying
so
that to
much
somebody,
homework.
it's somebody who I'm going to block immediately. Like as soon as I can see on Facebook Messenger, like they send me a picture I don't want, I send them another picture that was sent to me by someone I don't want.
Well, see, I make it a
I'm
proper
communicating to
contraction.
them
I
in the way
spell
that
it
they.
apostrophe tard.
Oh, I just go full
No, I like
for
contractions.
under the
Contractions
consent
are
of the
cool.
king. Tard.
Legacy Coffee is the official coffee of PSNORKIS. Here at PSNORKIS, we know that not all coffee is created equal. Need a pick-me-up with a fresh, bold flavor? Go to legacybrewing.shop and get your Legacy Coffee today. Legacy Coffee. What is your legacy?
All right. Well, I guess I'll be going.
Poor doctor.
My work here is done.
Oh,
It's just
your work here.
beginning to later.
Your work here is just beginning.
Oh,
Sunshine.
it truly is. Yeah.
Jeez.
So, Miss Kitty, what are some of your favorite artists? We did stop at the doctor, but he
Oh,
had
yes, we
apparently
did. I'm
too
sorry.
many. No, it's okay.
You didn't really tell us.
I don't really have any. I don't.
Well, you love the final countdown.
All we know is he hates
Yeah,
country
Europe.
and,
Yes.
and
You like
people
When
that
in
sing
Rome.
country and
Hates
people that
country.
listen
When in
country.
Rome,
Yeah.
all 80 stuff.
Oh, When in Rome, The Promise, great
Yeah.
song. That's
And
one.
when you sang it, it was awesome.
To me, that is one of the. When someone says, "What's the song that defines the '80s?" The Promise by When in Rome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Take on Me by Aha.
Oh, of course, Take on Me. Yeah.
You know, have you guys ever heard this? The new version that they sang about 4 years ago. That's a slow version. They did it on like an MTV Unplugged thing.
No.
Yeah.
You've heard it.
I've heard it.
I will after the show. Because legally we can't play it
Yeah.
during the show and comment on it. Because boy, that would just suck, wouldn't it? I will play it for you. It's awesome. But those are two that immediately, say, quick, tell me a song that defines the 80s. Go, Kitty.
When in Rome. That was the one I picked.
Right, yeah, it is one.
Footloose.
There you go. Footloose. Footloose was a little bit more mainstream, though, in the 80s.
That's fair, but I mean, that was also Patrick Swayze.
Yeah,
you know,
but
all of
I'm
those
kind of,
things.
when I say defines the, I'm kind of talking about ones that you
I'll
didn't hear
stop the world
every.
and melt with you.
I melt with you, modern English.
So you got to understand, though, I was born in 87. So for me, I only experienced 3 years of the 80s, and I may as well have not experienced any of it. So when I think of the 80s, I only experience
really,
it.
yeah.
It really seems sad,
But you
right?
still heard some of the older songs
I
during
did,
the
absolutely.
time.
But when
Depeche
I
Mode.
think of...
Depeche Mode, that's
Oh, yeah,
Pet
they have a
Shop
lot of good
Boys.
songs.
Oh my, It's a Sin, great song.
But when I think of the 80s, I
Depeche
think of
Mode,
my experience with the 80s, just like everyone else
Yeah.
does. You know what I mean? Your experience, doctor's experience
I lived
in
through the
80s.
entire 80s, yeah.
Yes,
Because
yeah.
I started out in the 60s, so I had the 70s too, and trust me.
So for me,
not
I
a
just,
big deal.
when I think of the 80s, I think of Aha, Take Me On.
On
or
Me.
Take On Me, rather. Yeah. I think Madonna. I think Footloose. I think Dirty Dancing. I think Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club,
I
great
think-
movie. Yeah.
I think of a lot of different films and movies and stuff like that because that's the only way in which I've actually
Ghostbusters
been able
was a
to
80s movie,
experience the 80s. Well, the Ghostbusters wasn't really a commentary about the 80s.
No, it wasn't, but it came out in 83. So
I agree, yeah. But like when I look back at the 80s,
Puppy
there
just
wasn't...
jumped up in my lap here.
Oh,
and I tried
puppy.
to catch her before she slips back off.
Puppy.
Hi, sweetheart.
But I think about when I look back and
There
I
we
look at the fashion, or when I look at the dancing, or when I look at the people, or
Fashion. There you go.
the
Another
phrases,
good song
or
from David
everything
Bowie.
else,
David Bowie.
fame.
Fashion.
Queen.
Oh my gosh, Killer Queen! What a good song. Ugh.
I mean, we had some really great music, and sadly, I listened to a
And
lot of older
everybody
music.
dressed.
We dressed like it was the 20s and 30s.
You didn't walk out in ripped jeans.
No.
If you walked out in jeans, you walked out with jeans and some sort
You
of
walked
nice,
out with-
nice T-shirt and a jacket
Z Cavry cheese.
with the sleeves pushed up,
And I still
stuff
have
like
them.
that.
and your jeans folded over.
The big hair, the
I
I
actually
still have the big hair.
shoulder pads.
I like
Women
the
always
big
had
hair.
these jackets with the shoulder. Actually, guys, we had
Yeah.
shoulder pads in our jackets too. I wish I had kept some. Well, they wouldn't fit me now, obviously, but I wish I had kept some because I thought it was a very nice, classy look.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
more sport coats
You know?
and ties.
Yeah.
Real ties.
People went out and dressed to impress, even if their style was different, like Madonna stuff like that. It wasn't sloppy.
No.
Yeah.
There was no
Yeah.
sloppy fashions back in
Yeah,
the
we had
80s.
Pat Benatar, Cyndi Lauper.
Oh yeah, Cyndi Lauper. Oh my God, she was
Tiffany,
so cool.
bad Tiffany, Debbie
Yeah.
Gibson.
Yep, Tiffany Debbie
We're
Gibson,
alone now.
Yeah.
which wasn't even her song, but she made a
Yeah.
whole career out of it.
Well, she made a good
She
thing.
made a one-hit wonder out of it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Michael Jackson. You had all that.
Oh, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, he was so good.
Weird Al Yankovic. Come on.
Weird Al Yankovic was actually a lot of fun too.
It was
Yeah,
a
he was
lot of
pretty
cool.
fun. Yeah.
I think he flooded Dr. Demento for
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good
but
show.
Michael Jackson, absolutely undisputed. No matter what else he may or may not have done, undisputed king of pop.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Except, it's Christmas time.
Eartha Kitt.
Oh, wait, we'll
Santa
get to that.
baby.
Oh, and hers is the best version.
I am
of that.
singing
It's
way
like
too much
listening-
on this podcast. We're going to
listening-
have to cut that all
Well,
out.
you.
Nope.
No one needs that.
I don't know
Nope,
about.
Mark, keep it in.
yeah.
Yep. Keep it in.
Eartha Kitt, like listening to Catwoman sing Santa Baby was awesome.
Yeah.
But
the original Catwoman.
Michael Jackson, it's Christmas time. And, Christmas music's playing. And I keep, and this song, I never, his version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
When he was young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jackson
When he had
Five.
the first
Jackson
nose.
Five.
When he
Yeah.
was young and still black.
Yeah.
Right.
With the first nose.
Jeez.
Before he became old and white.
Yes.
Okay.
Which happens a lot.
It was very weird,
Apparently.
actually, because his skin got white and his hair got dark. Kind of like
Okay.
reverse.
All right, yeah, we're just picking on him. We're having some fun here, but
Yeah, that's a good team.
the song Santa Claus go, little toy drums, a little
That's one of my
booty toot
favorite
toot.
songs.
That fun. Now,
toy drums.
I thought it was Dominic the Donkey.
Well, that one's with
I love Lou Monte, Dominic.
I have my
Chingity
little
Ching.
boy
Oh,
sings that
freaking
stuff,
awesome
too. He
song.
loves that.
Awesome song.
And Grandma got run over by
But
me.
it's classic.
Love that too.
Elmo Patsy.
Yeah.
That's 80s.
Yeah.
What's the lyric? Little toy dolls that toddle and coo. Toddle meaning, walk, and coo, make noise. But he said because he was young and nobody told him different. He read the lyrics as he was singing it that tootle and coo. I'm like, what the hell's a tootle? Tootle is what he did to little boys later on in life. I think I don't know, but I should have told everybody what he was going to grow. No, I'm just again. Just having fun. Hello, it's me.
I'll stick to the waitresses.
Oh, Christmas wrapping.
Yep.
Excellent Christmas song. 1981.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
So
He even says it in the lines. Most of 81 passed along those lines. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you consider Michael Jackson to be the undisputed king of pop, which I 100%
From the 80s? Absolutely.
I agree with.
Yes.
Who do you think would be the queen of pop? Because I've heard a lot of different opinions about that. Some people say Madonna. Some people say Britney Spears.
No, well, okay.
A lot of different
let's
opinions.
talk in the 80s because
Okay.
Britney Spears was like,
Yeah,
running.
early
The best part of
2000s.
her was running down her dad's pants leg at that point.
I would fight
Which
you
I think
against
still
that,
was
actually.
the best point. No,
I completely disagree.
Actually, I do like Britney.
I love
And I
Britney.
am so glad that she's now allowed to make her own
Me
decisions.
too. I used to be
was
able
a
to
big-
mimic
I
Britney
was-
Spears and
I was
sing
a
like
big
her.
fan of that.
I think I can still do it. I'll try it in my car later.
I'll try it in my car.
But in the 80s, Queen of Pop,
My first bet would be Madonna.
Madonna's one of them.
She was
Cyndi
a
Lauper.
Super icon then. And Madonna was like
She was amazing.
You
Annie
know what?
Lennox,
Annie Lennox.
Lennox, yeah.
Pat Benatar.
Pat Benatar. Joan Jett. I mean,
Joan
there were
Jett.
so many.
Cherry Bombs.
Cherry Bombs you did with her original group called what? 3? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2.
I know
One.
you know this.
Yeah.
The Runaways.
The Runaways.
That was Cherry Bomb. And her one guitar player was who? Let me give you a hint. I went to a party last Saturday night.
Lita Ford.
There you go. I didn't have to say laid, thank God. Whew.
You said it anyway.
That would have been the thing we needed to bleep out.
Yeah,
Laid.
that word.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But
Christmas time.
I would say Madonna, probably. I
she
mean,
was the most
yeah.
prevalent.
Even though Cyndi Lauper was up there too.
She was.
And between the two, I prefer Cyndi Lauper,
Oh, me too.
especially as
Yeah,
a
as well.
person,
Yeah, yeah.
let alone
You
anything
know what, I
else.
kinda-
But I think Madonna would have been the queen of pop back in the 80s. yes.
I'm really grateful that Madonna is still with us and still alive. But
I'm just glad she's in a different country too.
I'm very almost upset with her because I felt like with her power and her presence, she could have been a great example for how to actually age like a human being
I agree.
in the industry.
I
She
agree with
does.
that.
She goes to Africa and adopts a lot of children.
No, she completely redid her entire body
Oh.
and her
That
face.
tells you last time
she
I watched
looks,
TV.
She
And
looks
besides,
entirely
I think
different.
you're confusing her with
Angelina Jolie.
That's the one.
No,
yeah.
Madonna does the same thing. Too.
Yeah, Madonna does the same thing.
Yeah, she does
No, I
the
didn't
same
know
thing.
that.
Yes, but who did it first?
Yeah, Angela.
Madonna.
Madonna.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madonna did it before Angelina did.
Really?
oh okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
wasn't sure who was chasing who.
Oh, yeah.
Madonna
Because I
wasn't
got no
gonna-
use for either one of them, to be honest with you.
I'll still sit and listen to Yaz.
Oh, that
Yeah.
yes. I mean, she names keep
Allison.
Alison Moyer. Oh, she's great. She was great.
Yeah.
Great voice. She still does. Great voice. Very powerful. Also, along the lines of like an Annie Lennox type thing,
Yeah.
just very powerful voice. You know, and that one song. God, this is
Only You?
Terrible. That's it. Thank you.
Or Don't Go.
No, well, Don't Go is good, but Only You,
Yeah.
that song was actually written. Go on, finish the story if you're good enough. If you're good enough, because I have this. I know the
That-
stupid '80s
Shots
trivia.
fired.
Yeah.
That was written for the keyboard player's other band, which was.
And the keyboard player wrote it. Yep,
Yes.
and they passed
Depeche
on
Mode.
it. Yep, Depeche Mode.
Yes.
I love
Yep.
Depeche Mode.
And they passed on that, And so he did it with
Yeah.
Yaz, or Yazoo,
Yazoo.
which was the same thing. They just shortened it to Yaz.
And that's the first
And
song
they-
I ever sang in public.
Yep, and that's a great song.
Yeah. I'm going to just switch gears here real quick.
Okay.
Say hi to our German audience.
Yes,
I was reading.
Snoopy's Christmas. Love that song.
Oh, yeah, Red Baron.
Yeah. Yeah, Snoopy's Christmas. I love that song. Speaking of German and Christmas, and of course the Christmas truce.
The Christmas truce.
Yeah,
Oh, when they got
the
out
battlefield
of
of
World War I? Yeah.
in World War One.
That's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So shout out to the Germany.
Yep.
But I was reading a story from over there. It's real quick. I'm just going to touch on it because I want.
Please do.
Yeah. So somebody was.
Just be careful where you touch it. Don't be inappropriate.
Well, I won't touch it like you will.
Need a safe word.
Well played, son. Well played indeed.
So there's a gentleman in Germany that works from home, and he got out of bed and walked down his stairs, fell down his stairs, hurt his spine, and put a claim in for a work-related injury. And their insurance company passed on the claim. He took it to court and he won.
Really?
Yeah, and I read it and I thought of people that
That's
work at
actually
home.
I think that's kind of cool.
I mean, you look
Because
at
he
the
was working
stories-
for home and he got
You
injured
look
at
at
work.
all the stories going
Was it
around.
during the work time?
It was
the
work time. Yeah, so he got up and
Well,
went
there you go.
downstairs. Yeah. So all the other stories around the world are about this COVID and the new variant, and then there's this guy who
Jesse Smollett.
falls down the stairs.
Oh, Jesse Smollett.
That's another topic for another
That's
day.
you get what you deserve with that.
There are 3 court cases in the last month that went exactly the way they should have.
Agreed. Yep.
Kyle Rittenhouse,
Yes.
because it was absolutely positively nothing but self-defense. I forget the guy's name, but the 3 guys that chased down and
Chase
killed that
Decker, yeah.
poor
They
man.
all got convicted.
They all got convicted.
Yeah.
That was the right call
Yep,
on that,
that
without a
was.
doubt.
Agreed.
And Jesse Smollett, who faked a hate crime.
Yeah.
4. There were 4 cases.
What's the other one?
Britney Spears' conservatorship.
Okay, what I'm talking about?
Criminal.
I'm talking about ones that are.
That's white.
How do I
crime.
say this? But you're right. That went the proper way too.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about ones that are dividing people.
Yeah, correct.
There were some people who were divided over that, though.
Fans
Well,
of
there still
Britney.
are, yeah.
That's a little bit more narrow-minded than I am talking about the entire
Yeah.
country.
No, fair enough. I just think it's worth an honorable mention because there's
And
not
there was
a lot
nothing
of people.
political about her.
No, but it was an example of
All
her,
of these other
her
ones,
very,
they tried to make political for one reason or another.
But it was an example of
No,
the
I-
danger of letting your family put you in a conservatorship.
Okay, yeah,
as a woman,
right? Yeah, no, and like I said, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But my specific examples were,
Yeah,
were,
fair enough. No, that's fine.
yeah, because they were turned into political battles.
They absolutely were.
And they're still
And-
dividing the country now,
And the funny
No, it's
thing
over.
is, they all turned out the way they should have,
according
because the truth, the truth came out in them.
But you
and
still have people on
nobody-
the other side of
Right,
of
because
what
they're
you're
not
saying.
interested in the truth.
Because outrage is more interesting
Yeah.
than justice, and that's really
Yeah.
a sad commentary, but an accurate one about our
It
society.
does show what a
today.
crappy actor he is, though. He couldn't convince anybody. When once the truth came out, it's like, oh yeah, you know what, your performance was good, but we think the truth is a little bit
Yeah.
better. So sorry, dude.
I think it's very interesting, though, because people nowadays, they're all for something when it goes in their favor, a presidential election, a judicial ruling. But then when it doesn't, they're quick to dismiss it. And I think that's a very dangerous turning point that we're witnessing here.
I agree with that.
Because the
I agree
day
with
where
that.
the truth...
If you love listening to our show, consider joining one of our membership plans on our Patreon page. Memberships starting as low as $2.99 a month will greatly help to support the production of this show and will help us to continue making it better. To show our thanks and appreciation, we've made our shows ad-free to all memberships. Head on over to patreon.com/PSNORKIS and check out all of our available plans. Link in the description.
is the truth, depending on who's viewing it and who's issuing the judgment, is a very, very dangerous and shaky ground upon which to build our future. Kyle Rittenhouse did not break the law. That was proven by the court. I trust and believe in that because I trust and believe in the courts. Not the
He
same
was
thing.
legally allowed to.
He was.
to have that rifle.
Yep,
At
he was
that
legally
age,
allowed
in
to
that
be there.
state. He did not bring that rifle from another state across state lines. That was a lie. That did not happen.
I actually have not followed. I saw the outcome of it, but I haven't had time to follow it due to work and life commitments.
They're still saying it's like, well, he crossed state lines. And no, he actually didn't.
Yeah. Either way, though, I think
didn't.
The point that I was trying to make was, it's very dangerous what we're seeing now with people's selective imbibement of the truth.
Yes, I like
really,
that selective. Yes,
it really is,
yeah.
because those
And
same
it really
people.
is.
You'll have people, and to be very fair, you'll have people who be like, "Oh, Trump won the last election. Joe Biden's a fraud." But those same people believed it when Trump won the original election. That's ridiculous. If it's fair when he wins, it's fair when he loses.
It is, but at the same time, I have to be honest with you. I have not seen so much support for a candidate that didn't win. And so many shady things happened.
I think a lot of shady
that.
things happened during his presidency and after it too, but I think it's not so much a difference in the amount of shady things as much as it's a difference in the amount of shady things that are brought to light. I don't really believe there's a true candidate on either side, Democrat or Republican.
Sure,
I don't think that either one of them are
yeah.
fit. I do not believe firmly, and I will argue this all day, that either one of them are a proper representative of the American people. I don't believe that there's anyone serving in Congress or who has served as president for quite a long time who is an accurate representation of the people. I think what we're seeing now, and especially with the amount of scrutiny that the Trump administration came under, is a lot of the same shady deals that would be made in previous presidencies are now coming to light. And I think a lot of that had to do with the outrage that the Democratic Party felt over Trump winning, who was admittedly a very offensive candidate. There's Republicans I like. I like Mitt Romney. I feel like he's a very moderate kind of Republican, but I feel like nowadays we almost don't have room for moderate candidates.
Would I have him over here down to the bar here down in the basement for a beer? No. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, what we needed at the time was a businessman that was more business than it was trying to save people's feelings.
Then I think we should pick a businessman who hasn't had so many failed businesses.
And yet at the same time, I was paying a lot less for living expenses 2 years ago than I am now.
But we also didn't have a pandemic. To argue, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just trying to
I said 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because that would have messed anything up. But,
yeah.
But the current administration has done nothing to fight that.
I think there's sometimes an argument to be made
has done stuff to actually exacerbate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I'll agree with.
Like basically costing thousands of people their jobs on the very first day.
Yeah.
Jobs that were keeping us, for the first time in years, energy independent, where we were paying less than $3 a gallon.
I'm also very opposed to his promotion of requiring the vaccine. And I think
especially after he said he wouldn't do that in order to get elected.
My big beef with that
topic.
My big beef with that is, as a woman, as a Democratic candidate, he supports the right to abortion. How do you support the right to some people making their medical decisions as it relates to abortion and not support their right to make medical decisions as it relates to vaccines?
Well, let me piggyback on that.
That's
because
my
the
big
same
thing.
people that I've had arguments with, the same ones that scream in my face that say, "My body, my choice," are the same ones screaming in my face.
It's not your body, you're not choice. You have to get vaccinated.
The vaccine.
So is it your body and your choice,
my
or
body,
isn't it?
my choice? What happened to you?
That is what bothers me so much.
With all due respect, there are people absolutely 110% who are like that. But then there's people like me, where I would vote in favor of abortion being accessible and financially accessible, especially to women all across the board. But I also respect your right to do with your body whatever you choose to do, whether that includes the vaccine or whether it doesn't. It's quite frankly not my place, nor is it my business to tell you what medical decisions you should be making. If the vaccine works, then you getting COVID isn't going to really impact me that much, because as somebody who has gotten the shot, I did get the shot, the Moderna one. I'm going to have less symptoms if you do get COVID. That's how the shot supposedly works. It doesn't.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
But that's not a vaccine.
It's not a vaccine.
It's not a true vaccine to prevent you from right.
Well,
exactly.
here's to prove that is I recently had COVID.
Yes, you did.
And my brother-in-law who has been vaccinated got COVID right along with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, I know people that have 4 kids, and 3 of their kids are infected, and one of the parents are, and the other parent not, and the other kid not. There's no rhyme or reason to who's getting infected
And
right
that's
now.
just
The
it. There
reality
really
is that
isn't,
this thing
especially
is
with
too
the
new.
younglings.
Right.
This disease, this COVID-19 variant, is too new for us to really know much about it. I think that's a fair statement. I think a lot of people on both sides of the aisle, both pro and anti-vax, could agree with that.
And you still don't have your sense of smell or taste.
Right.
But you
Which is
should have
good because
the
I just
antibodies.
farted, so you won't even know it. These guys,
Oh, for the
these
love
guys
of
on this
God.
side are
Something to be
screwed,
thankful
but you're
for.
going to be okay. Yeah.
Something
Smells
to be
like
thankful
canal
Yeah.
water in
But
here.
I think that's a topic that we should
for.
cover on another time.
Another
There's
topic.
a lot of different
It is.
viewpoints.
It is.
So,
Like we did this one. I didn't want to get political.
yeah.
I
No, I'm
mean,
sorry. I brought that up. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. That's cool. And that's just like, our listening audience in the UK is they're dealing with the same 500, 600 cases, and they're projected to go to 25,000 cases.
Yeah.
And nobody knows.
Except some
But-
of those
but here's
people
the
over there
thing.
in Europe, some of our listeners are under draconian lockdowns.
They're
that just make
severe
no
lockdowns.
sense
Actually-
whatsoever.
I have friends in Australia.
Oh my!
That's
Australia
amazing
amazing
in
in
they're-
itself.
New Zealand's
because
worse.
she has friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
Australia is genuinely under one of the most
That's-
draconian lockdowns
And
that I have ever read about.
Isn't it funny because Australia is always one of the countries that we as Americans somehow were brought up to like, oh, these guys are great, this and everything.
Didn't we
That-
used to ship our criminals there? Or am I
well,
wrong?
no,
Britain.
we didn't. No,
We
no,
didn't.
it was Great
UK.
Britain. It was
Yeah,
Gotcha.
originally on that
was a
island.
prison.
It was a penal colony.
Right.
You know what?
Right.
From what I know about a lot of Australia's animals, that makes sense. Like, you really need somebody tough to deal with an entire land filled with creatures that actively try to hunt you down and kill you, including
Like
the
kangaroos,
spiders.
yeah, they're not quite so cute, are they?
Including the
Yeah,
spiders.
They'll come up and kick your ass.
Also, even the koalas are dangerous. One, they're small bears that are aggressive and carry herpes.
Yeah.
What kind of nightmare Build-A-Bear bullshit is that?
I like Care Bears.
Oh, my one ex. No, wait, never mind.
Anyway, we got that.
She had the same claws.
I think we need to tackle that subject.
Yeah, I think that's a separate
I
one.
think we're going to tackle that pretty
yeah,
soon because
and I think
everyone
we're running
around
on time, Sue. So
everyone around the world is dealing with this
Yeah.
thing right now.
it's
Yeah.
definitely very relevant. And, to all our listeners out there, before we record the next episode of the PSNORKIS podcast, feel free to hit us up on Facebook or Twitter or any of our other social media places. We would love to hear from you. We would love to hear what the laws are like where you're from, as well as your opinion.
I will say this for everyone out there that's living in fear. Nothing has ever split a virus, especially has split into something and become more powerful.
Viruses, when they mutate, they get weaker.
And that's
That's
what you need
just
to know.
nature.
And what you're hearing now,
It's
the common
just-
cold has been eliminated, and now everything that you have is now some sort of COVID
And that's
virus.
crap. The common
Right,
cold
so-
will never be eliminated.
Right.
Common
Like the
cold is
flu
a
will
form.
never be
Yeah,
Hang in
and
there.
they're-
We've been through the lockdowns. We know if you're in lockdown now, believe me, we hear you and we feel you.
that's my problem.
we
Is they're
have-
they're trying to scare people
For
and be
sure.
able to keep them
And
under control.
Madman was just here in one of the states here, and it's wide open, right? All the
Florida?
states here are
Oh.
different.
Yeah.
All the
Florida-
states here are different.
I
so
went down to Florida, and honest to God, it was like
no mask, no nothing.
being
right?
normal.
Yeah, exactly.
It was incredible,
what, though,
except for
like-
the flight down. but-
Yeah.
I really think that at this point should be a personal choice. Like, me personally, if I'm around a lot of people, I would still choose to wear a mask. Personally, I would.
And that's personal choice.
Yeah, I'm
And
not
fine with
I'm not
that.
gonna yell at other people to wear a mask. I don't have the right to tell other people what to do. Nor do I want that. I want literally nothing to do with people. My retirement plan is for me to live in the woods and talk to animals and only come out on the first full moon
Here.
next to Halloween.
I like that, except
Like,
for
I
the
want-
first full moon thing.
Well, Mike,
You just want to pee off the porch.
Yeah, I do. I love that.
Dr.
What?
Mike, you need to lean into it, okay? Like, I want to be the Blair Witch of Pennsylvania. Support me.
That's scary. That's scary.
I'm scary.
I don't.
What do you think's going to happen? I'm going to get older and somehow turn into a Care Bear? Look at me. I'm a nightmare.
Maybe you would be nice one day. Maybe.
What sort of opposite land shit is
It's
this?
nice. Be
She's
nice.
very nice. She's very nice. But yeah.
He would know if he ever fed me, but he doesn't. So
Oh,
mean.
please. I fed you more than you thawing yourself out at dinner and feeding yourself.
She doesn't. She comes over to my house.
All right. Well, there's no thawing there.
No.
That's for sure.
I still don't like frozen things. They
Yeah, you
taste
shouldn't.
different.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm just.
Oh.
I don't go on Facebook as much because I don't want to hear let's think up new names to call people who didn't do this or didn't do that.
Yeah.
Really,
That's not gonna
it
go away.
sounds like a junior high school
Yeah, it
playground, and I'm just not interested. So
Myself, mask mandates make sense only if somebody's ugly.
Here.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right,
Actually, to be honest.
there are some people, you
that
know,
need-
me
they
included.
should
I
have a
look better
bag.
with a mask.
Put a bag on instead.
But the problem is, see, that's the other thing with you know. Okay, instead of Sex and the City, we'll say Sex and the 2000s. Well, you know, Sex in the 21st
Town.
century. It's back in the old days. You had the paper bags. You just cut a couple eye holes out and
put it on.
yeah. But now all we have is plastic bags, and they usually end up suffocating. So it's not quite the same thing.
this
Yeah.
bag is used for erotic
Yeah,
information.
so that's a whole other topic altogether. She knows all about
I'm
that.
so bad.
sure.
I know. I'm terrible.
Well, I have a problem when they go, you're not allowed to do any kissing under the mistletoe because you might get COVID. Are you serious? I don't like people that close to me anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Listen, if
exactly. You and
If I
Petey
find
both.
someone who actually is worthy of being kissed under the mistletoe,
They're getting kissed anyway.
They're going to get kissed
that's
under
the way
the
it is. Yeah.
Maybe even a little fondle
look
too.
out, world.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you.
Boy.
Smoochies.
My
Brace
fear-
yourself.
My fear is
Start
they kiss
boiling
like
the
a
water.
dead fish.
You would boil a witch.
I said water, not witch. I said
How do
boil
you
the
think they
water.
cooked us, doctor?
No, I said boil water for sanitary reasons.
Wow.
Yeah. See what happens? Well, that was fun.
Yeah, it was. That was also, oh my God, like 2.25 hours on this.
Yeah, it feels like that.
But yeah, but by the time you're done editing, we'll be down
all
to
the
about
bleeps.
20 minutes.
We got 20 minutes and 3 hours of bleeps. Hey, if you're on lockdown, hang in there.
We're going to sound like a test pattern on the old TVs.
Hang in there, lockdown. Hang in there.
We do have opinions, you know, and I actually do try not to get like political and stuff like that, although I have my opinions, and sometimes I just can't. By the end of the show, it's like I got to slip one or two in. I would normally say I hope I didn't offend anybody, but let's face it, this is me. I don't care because I spent my life where people didn't care if they offended me, and I survived it, and I'm just fine. So guess what? I don't care if I offended you.
Frankly, if someone wants to get their feelings hurt, they should listen to this podcast. They also have the option of paying for extra insults. We'd
Toughen
be happy
up.
to take that.
Toughen up.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Extra insults.
Would you like to be insulted by
Yeah.
Rebel? I will insult you 50 different ways.
Some people do pay extra for that.
Yeah.
Don't I know it?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
We don't go out. I don't go out of my way to offend people, but I don't tap dance around feelings either. You know, you're adults. You're big boys and girls. You can handle it. All right. This is a world where people have different opinions. Here in, now I'm saying this because I'm just talking about here in our country. We have a guaranteed right that we can speak our minds. I know in some of the countries that listen to us, you not so much. So hopefully we could speak your minds for you. But we're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Have a good time. Be good to each other. Have a great holiday season. Whether
care.
it's Christmas, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's, well, what else? Kwanzaa. That one too. Enjoy it. And just be good to each other. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.